I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
For anybody that's not familiar, could you go into what a CRM is and kind of like how you use it with your email marketing business?
Sure. So a CRM is an acronym for customer relationship management. And basically what a CRM does is exactly what it stands for. It manages your customer base. So for example, when you go to a website and there's a pop-up screen that comes up asking for your email address in exchange for some sort of discount code, or maybe to join a newsletter, that stuff is typically powered by a CRM. Now, the way that I use it in my business is really, it's because it's so robust. I use it in a lot of different ways, but I'll just bring up one example for now. So I own an affiliate blog. And so when people come to the blog, they enter their email address to get my lead magnet. And for those of you who don't know what a lead magnet is, it's essentially just it's like an asset, or it's like I'll use this as an example. It's like an ebook that you can download to read, and something that will help you reach some sort of goal. Whatever your issue is, it's going to solve that issue. So when they come to one of my affiliate blogs, they get to download this lead magnet. And then after that, they get a series of emails that come after that. All of that is fully automated by the CRM. These are emails I've written literally last year, or sometimes 3 or 4 months out in advance. And so every single week or monthly, depending on how they signed up, where they came through, they get these emails automatically. Also, what the CRM does is it actually has these, what they call triggers, where if the person opens the email and clicks on whatever links I have in that email, then it fires off another action. Again, all of this is fully automated. So anyone who's listening, if you are a business owner, I highly recommend that you get a CRM as soon as possible, because what CRMs do is it cuts down on the amount of time that you have to invest in your business. Once you set up all those automations, the software literally runs your business for you so that you can do the parts of the business that you actually enjoy. So I highly recommend CRMs.
So why Entreport for anybody listening? I know you said you went to the conference and everything, as well as like getting certified. Like why Entreport? Why was that the direction that you decided to go as far as specializing?
So I had looked into some of the other leading CRMs like HubSpot. I had looked into, at the time, Infusionsoft. I think they changed their name to Keep now. And I actually worked in Infusionsoft for a while. And that software was just not user-friendly for me. Now, I know people who've made 7, 8 figures using Infusionsoft. Again, for me, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like the interface. It looked a little archaic for me. Entreport, what I really liked about Entreport was not only the interface, but I also liked the team behind it. So the president and founder of the company, Landon, is super engaged in the Facebook group. When people raise questions in the Facebook group, 9 times out of 10, Landon is in there responding to the questions. So when I went out there for training, not only did I meet some of his senior staff, like literally the first, 1 to 10 employees he hired when he co-founded Entreport, but also I met him. He came and spoke to our group and let us know how the business was running and basically welcoming us, as part of their family. And so I was like, you know what? I'm sold on this. I love Entreport. Again, it's very robust, as most CRMs are. But for me, the interface is just more user-friendly. The other ones, I just couldn't get into them.
And I kind of want to go back to the email marketing part now, because like, what was your first client with the email marketing, and how did you find that, okay, this is exactly what I want to use my copywriting for?
So my first client at the time was a reputable scholar, a public scholar. And so with his audience, he was reaching Black Americans, those who are honestly pretty similar to your audience. So Black Americans who are interested in learning how to create generational wealth, entrepreneurship, excelling in business, etc. So what really let me know I was on to something is I had written an email, and within that one weekend, he had made 5 figures off of that one email. And I was like, whoa, you know, I mean, again, I was already writing in 2004 as a freshman at Clark Atlanta University. So I knew that these things made money, but I was like, wait a minute, you know, I only wrote like 500 words and dude made like 5 figures. That's crazy, you know? And that's when I realized the power of email. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to like focus most of my attention over here because clearly this is where the big dollars are. And it's not to say that there's not money in writing copy for Facebook ads and stuff like that, because there is. I write copy for Facebook and IG ads too. But I see your face, Jalen.
Oh, hold on.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that later.
We can. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, you know, it's not to say that there's not money in those spaces too. I'm just saying that for me, email just makes the most sense. I can be more casual in email. Again, contingent upon my client. You know, I've had clients that are more formal, more corporate. So obviously I don't use slang. But even when I was, you know, kind of onboarding you all, I asked, hey, can I use profanity? Is that part of your vernacular? Because if it is, I'm going to put it in the emails, right? So I really liked email, and I still love email to this day because it doesn't really take a lot of words to put one together. And then secondly, the results oftentimes are instantaneous. I mean, it's like having, and I know you all read this in Ryan Dice's Invisible Selling Machine, but it's like having your personal ATM. The moment you send out those emails, you instantly start seeing people buying. And that is a very gratifying experience to see those sales coming in. So I love email.
It seemed like it's in with all the different copywriting spaces, one of the best ways to create wealth with words, like you were talking about. Because I'm thinking about that example because whenever you're talking about Ryan's book, that's what I think the example at the beginning is what really illustrated it for us. Like he made an example in the beginning of the book where like him and his buddy, I think they were golfing or something. They were golfing. And they had made a bet. And the guy was like, basically Ryan was like, hey, look, I can write you some emails and make you some money right now. Cause he's worried about making money. Like, let me show you how to make this. The friend didn't have it and Ryan did have it. Yeah. And Ryan was like, look, come with me. And I promise you, if we do this, I can make you some money in like 30 minutes to an hour. He's like, nah, man, you bullshitting me. So then he sent out the emails and then he ended up making like 20 bands. Yeah. And it was just like, what the? Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, obviously, I do want to kind of level everybody's expectations. It doesn't mean literally I write an email, I'm making 5, 6, figures every time an email goes out. The most important component of email marketing is your audience. That's the most important thing. So you have to actively seek to get these people's email addresses, because if you get the wrong audience and I'm sending them a message that doesn't really resonate with them, then that's lost money, So I do want to be very clear here in saying, as a business owner, or even as a personal brand, if those of you who have a following on social media, just like the BWR has a following on social media, you want to have a mechanism in which you are actively capturing people's email address and their cell phone number. So that's my piece on that.
And I'm really glad that you.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask, like, as far as audience, what do you mean by the wrong audience? You mean telling my cousins and everybody on Facebook to come shop with me isn't the right people? Who do I need to be hitting up?
Very good question. So this is I'm actually glad you asked this, because I want to let people know I have seen a lot of new entrepreneurs get on Facebook blasting their family. You be thinking family gonna support you, but my family don't support. They didn't buy. Listen, you don't want your family and friends to buy your product or service if it does not fit them. If they're not a good fit, you actually don't want them to buy your product or service, because guess what? You're not going to get good feedback, right? And it doesn't serve them. It has to serve them in some kind of way. So instead of getting offended that your family and friends aren't buying your product or service, just focus your attention on the people who will do that. And guess what? If nobody's buying it, it just means it's whack. Let's just be real here. It's whack. You need to rebrand. You need to do something to make sure that you find an audience where your product or service actually resonates with what they need or what they want. But if you're not getting sales, that's on you. That's not on your family and friends. Don't put that on them, because as the business owner, the onus is always on us to successfully convert. So don't turn around and point the finger and say, oh, Black people just dumb. You'll go spend money with the Chinese man, but you won't spend it with me. I hate that. No, I'm not spending it with you because for whatever reason, your product or service does not resonate with me. Don't blame me for that. That's on you. So yeah, man, you got to find the right audience. Like that's on you. That's on us as business owners. We cannot get mad at people when they don't patronize our business. It's on us.
Hey,
Talk to
spitting
because
fire.
it's so real though. Because like it's never the customer's job to find you. You got to find the customer. And I kind of want to go into like with the email some because I know you mentioned the wrong audiences. It's something we talked about with you before privately.
Before we move on,
okay,
I want
to
because I wanted to talk about what she said about if you have an audience on social media. Right now, a lot of people think social media is the end all be all, but they don't understand the power of email marketing and how much more direct you are. They don't understand how sometimes they're fighting against these algorithms where they're only showing it to a certain percentage of their following versus if you send out a mass email, it doesn't matter. Everyone is going to at least receive it. They might not open it, but they're at least going to be able to receive it. On Instagram, if we post a post, not all 380 of our followers, 80,000 of our followers, they're not about to see that. Only between
10%.
1 to 10% of our following will see that. Not all 100, however much it is, God damn it. All of those people are not going to see it, but you building that audience in your email campaign, that's vital to you being able to really just touch your core bases and your people who really going to patronize your business. So I just wanted to like, whenever you say you didn't want to get into that, I did want to get into that because it's so important. I see a lot of people saying email is dead and things like that. And I just wanted to drive home that it's really not.
And Jalen, honestly, I'm actually glad that you're taking the conversation in this direction because I want to speak very directly to the listeners now and let you know, you do not own that audience on Facebook. You do not own that audience on Instagram. You do not own that audience on Pinterest, Twitter, etc. You do not own that audience, period. Like they will shut you down. If they don't like something that you do, whether intentionally or unintentionally, guess what? They will wipe out. How many influencers have we heard of their pages, millions of followers and fans being gone? And guess what? They are SOL because if you have not been capturing that audience via email or text message, you can forget about it. You got to start from ground zero. And it's so tragic when that happens because people get so comfortable on these platforms thinking that, oh, this is my space. No, that's Facebook's space. That's Mark Zuckerberg's space. Like, let's not get it twisted here. That's Mark Zuckerberg's space. That's not your platform. That's his platform. You are helping build his dynasty, right? So the beautiful thing about capturing email and cell phone information or a mailing address too, is that you have now democratized media. What do I mean by that? When you have an urgent message that you want to get out about your brand or about yourself, you can literally go straight to the source. It's direct to consumer. You don't have to go through Mark Zuckerberg's platform to let somebody know what you got going on. So you literally alleviate media, period. You don't need mainstream media. That's the beautiful thing about social media is that it has literally almost invalidated actual media platforms like ABC, CBS, because now we can go direct to consumer. Beyonce want to get a message out to people. She don't have to go to ABC or Disney or whatever to get her message out. If she had, and I'm sure she has an email list, she can send a message directly to her list. So, I mean,
use Tidal that her husband built and send you a push notification.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like and another thing too, is that you all got to understand, by you all, I'm saying people who are tuning in, your email list is an asset. Why do you think Mark Zuckerberg got in trouble when Britannica, whatever the company was in England, ended up getting all this data? Data is the new gold. Don't sleep on it. Like, it's the new gold. So make sure that you protect that asset in the same way that you would protect your home. That's your asset. You can literally tap into that asset and monetize it at your leisure. You get what I'm saying? So, man, as you can see, I'm passionate about that because I see so many people, especially us in this space, who've grown these beautiful followings, these beautiful communities. I'm like, yo, are you capturing their contact information? Because if you're not, it's a waste of time. You're just building this platform for Mark Zuckerberg and friends. Like, you're not doing this for you, you know? And so it's an area of passion. But yes, so email, capture those emails, capture that contact information. It's an asset, period.
Yeah, and I just had to have you drive that because I feel the same way. And I've seen people like, there's a page that we're kind of close with, is Start a Black Business. They done been taken down twice. Like, and they have to fight to get their page back.
They had to go to court. Like, I want y'all to understand, they went to court. Like, they had to go sit down and talk with people and like pay lawyer fees to get their page back. Because that's where they running a business off of there.
So yeah, it's very vital that you tap into some email marketing.
Exactly.
With email marketing, I really want to go more into the audiences, because whenever you were talking about audiences, it made me think about with targeting the right people, thing we talked about with you, segmentation, when it comes to your audiences and your list. So can we speak more to that with like what segmentation is with the email list and why it's important?
Yeah, absolutely. So segmentation, just to put it in layman's terms, is essentially filtering out your audience based on their interests. And so to kind of give a very simple example, let's say that I own a pet store and I sell different pet products. Well, I'm running a sale on dog food, just dog food, not cat food, not bird food, but just dog food. I don't want to send that sale email to a cat owner, right? Like, that doesn't make sense, because now I'm going to irritate them. We already get inundated with emails every single day. Everybody does, right? So I want to make sure that I only target dog owners who are in my database, who are in my audience. So that's what segmentation is now. And this is where the CRM comes into place, because now the CRM is going to tell me, okay, these people who are tagged as dog owners, they need to receive the email that is promoting the sale for the dog food, right? So that's essentially what segmentation is. And it's very powerful, because what that does is it allows you to personalize your messages to your audience. Again, if I'm running a sale on dog food, in my email copy, I'm going to specifically speak to dog issues and the reason why this particular food is good for them, etc. That's null and void. That's irrelevant to a cat owner. Like, they don't care about the ingredients in dog food or the fact that this food is on sale, because they have a cat. They want to know what's good for their cat. So that's essentially what segmentation is, and that's why it's so important.
Making sure you're getting your offers in front of the right people. It's a major key with the email marketing, because like, I know we were talking about building a list and having that audience for yourself, but if you have an audience and it's a bunch of people that signed up for like one thing, and you sending them a bunch of information about a bunch of unrelated things, they're not going to care. They're not going to open your emails over time. Eventually, you're going to get pushed to the back of their mind, because you're not providing them with any value or any resources.